So that should make everything live. Good evening, guys. Sorry we're a little bit late. We got a little bit of a late start. Ryan and I did kind of talking about what we're going to do tonight, since we have some special guys joining us for some fun tonight. If I can quickly, if Discord, if you guys could just shout it real quick so I can get an audio check. Don't everybody speak at once. If you guys could just confirm for me, you're hearing them and me. I'll keep going. Assuming. I'm seeing levels, so I'm gonna assume it's coming through. So yeah, like I said, tonight we are joined by some of the SDC guys and some of the Nomad guys as well. Correct? We've got Nomads in here, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, great. I can't remember who's exactly in who, right? Okay, great. Thanks, Rick and everybody. And so it started as a chat between Ryan M17 and I, who's long-term SDC pilot. You guys might know Ryan from some of my favorite posts, which were specifically the best take I've seen on what Crime and Punishment should have been, and a really great... did you do both investigations into combat logging, Ryan? Certainly the second one.
So Rins posted the first one.
Okay, that's right.
They were all collaborations.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, right. We won't get into that too much tonight. I know people get real salty about it. I think everybody knows my stance on it is, we absolutely don't permit it here. Menu logging doesn't matter. We follow the community rules in that sense. But Ryan did, or as a collaboration, but Ryan wrote the post on a great investigation they did about a year ago now, Ryan?
Yeah, it'll be a year in, I think, end of November.
Okay, gotcha. Where essentially in the short version, again, I don't want to get too much of this, but the short version is they had an alt account. They played just like a normal account. And correct me if I'm wrong with any of this, Ryan. Unlocked several engineers, had 100 million or so in credits. So again, looked like just a normal account, not something that was a setup. Combat logged 5 different times over 5 different months. Every time admitted it in chat. So there were logs captured. There were videos of it captured. Tickets opened on every single one. You get the typical, oh, thanks, we've looked into this, but we can't tell you the result of it. The result of it was absolutely nothing, right? And so when Frontier, I believe it was Paige, and I'm not calling Paige out here since this isn't really Paige's responsibility, but when their response was, yes, we looked into every example and took what we felt was appropriate steps, which means your appropriate steps were that you really don't care. Right. And I remember reading one of the things I believe, again, you said, Ryan, which was, look, if you really don't care and this is just really part of the game, just fucking tell us so we can all stop. Right. With all the videos we post and all the comments we post and all the salt. Right. If it is what it is, just say. And of course, they didn't just say because, obviously they're not going to. Right. But that was it was phenomenal. Right. It was an easy way to show, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, what little interest Frontier had, and this is a year ago, right? And certainly things have not gotten better in that department, right? Everybody knows that I can be as critical as anybody on Frontier. I love it, and I'm sure you guys are the same way, when people give you the, oh, well, if you don't like it, then just don't play the game or don't complain about it, right? That shit just pisses me off to no end, because look, I'm critical and I complain because I love the game so much, right? If all of us here tonight didn't love the game so much, you wouldn't know who we are, right? You wouldn't be watching our videos. You wouldn't be reading our forum posts, right? We're critical because we love, right? So, it always comes from that place, but God, it can get so fucking frustrating, can't it? Right.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to shut up for a second and let Ryan introduce himself. Tell us a little bit about SDC. Just kind of tell the folks what you want there, Ryan.
Yeah. So I'm Ryan, SDC member. Most of the time we're a pretty obviously well-known group for our extracurricular activities, I guess.
Good way to say it.
I mean, there's obviously Harry's SDC, and everyone knows that from the Saloon kill and all that stuff. But most of the time, like everyone thinks that like everyone's just griefers and we just sit and like fucking aerovate and kill people. God, Maztec, why are you gonna do that like that, man? You just killed him. Jesus Christ.
Is Maztec starting early?
Stops.
Is he starting early?
Blue. I can't turn it off. That's
on. Blue on blue, Maz. That's blue on blue.
Dude, once it's on, it's on.
But I mean,
Higarin got the kill.
Okay. Most of the time, we basically just spend our time kind of shooting each other and shooting other PvP groups. That's 90% of what we do, and the other 10% is grinding for engineer mats or rolling stuff, making ships. But I mean, that's pretty much it.
You know, as a side, Ryan, what would you say is your favorite non-combat gameplay?
Oh,
Do you have one?
High grade emission farming.
Oh,
that's my
Jesus
favorite.
Christ. Yeah, right.
High grade farming.
Oh, it's
is
the
definitely
best,
my
isn't it?
favorite.
It's the best, isn't it?
I would say before the new set of engineers came out, the best thing in the game that was not killing other people for me was rolling drives and actually getting something good.
I remember your video. What was it, like 157 rolls, and you discarded every one of them?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
It only took me a fucking week to farm.
God.
Wasted in 20 minutes.
Wasted. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, I remember how painful that fucking video was. Just watching like every roll. Like, oh, please get a good one. Oh, please get a good one. Right.
One of our buddies, Palouche, FAS pilot, he did 5,000 grade 5 rolls.
Oh my God.
To finally get his drives. 5,000 grade 5 rolls.
Wow, that's just wow. You know, and like I was definitely I've always been, up until the new engineering, right? I was always a 3 to 5 roll casual kind of guy, right? Because I wasn't min-maxing for engineering, and while I do like the new engineering in the sense of it obviously removed all of that bullshit, right? I do think, and it's turned out to be better than I thought at first. I do think it was a little negative for the casual guy who wanted to go do a single grade 5 FSD roll, get a nice upgrade to his drive, and go. Where now you've got to go to the trader, you've got to do all the grade 1 through 5s. You've got to do so much more to get there, right?
What I'll say though is the biggest. So it is absolutely more work for that guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are materials are easier than they ever have been to get.
Completely agree.
There are grinds for every single material type. You can just go to one place, get all the stuff you need, and then trade for what you need.
Let's.
I mean, like last week. I mean, I told. I mean, the Nomads and SEC guys know. So, over the weekend, I maxed out.
I saw that screenshot. I saw your screenshot, dude. I was just like, "Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? That kills me to see." Right? Yes.
I'll never. I never have to do it again.
Yep.
I'm done.
Yep.
I could do 5 ships. Right now if I wanted to. But, I mean, getting mats is the easiest it's ever been.
And
for the casual player, it's a little worse.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a second. All right, just to to share people, and I do have videos on some of this stuff, right? So the way and tell me like what you guys do maybe that I don't, that you're potentially willing to share. The ways I do things is I use the Jameson crash site to grind data, right? I mean, no question. I go grind it, sit in the one spot, get all 4 beacons, spin around, go to the material trader for whatever I need for that. For minerals, I do Colidesi, right? The crashed anaconda, and again, guys, I don't have time to grab the links to all these videos, but they're all on the channel. They're all quickies, so they're very like 2-minute videos. So I do Colidesi for minerals, same thing, just go trade for whatever I want. For materials manufactured, I do Dav's Hope for, I go watch a movie and run Dav's Hope for 2 hours, right? I then do, I don't do this a ton, but I do have a Heelys for Feelies build. For those that don't know, Rinsler has a fantastic video on it. I've hinted at it at videos, but essentially you take 2 generally large class ships, cutters work the best, long range turreted pulse lasers, a big huge healing beam. You sit nose to nose with either 2 ships, 3 or 4, triangle or square. You heal each other while your turrets are on fire at will. They blasted everything that's out there. You put a rubber band around your trigger, filing your healing beam. Your collector limpets are bound to that. You open your cargo hatch and you walk away. And an hour later, you've got 5 million in bounties and a shit ton of up to grade 3 or up to grade 4 mats. What do you guys do other than HGEs and trading for grade 5s? Is there anything that I'm not using right now?
So there's some. So there's a T9 that's farmable. I forget what system it is. There's a T9 that's farmable. So basically, what you do is you just kind of keep relogging.
Okay.
And you can kill it. It drops grade 5, but it's kind of slow.
Okay.
So
like you get, when you say slow, like you get 2 grade 5 drops per kill, or is that what you mean by slow?
Oh no, it's not even close to that. It's not even close to that.
Like it's
I
less
mean,
than that.
you'll be lucky. Yeah, you'll be
Okay,
lucky to
okay.
get one grade 5 per.
Okay.
So we'll do that for I would say, let me see. I'm getting grief right now. I'm gonna go back to the station.
Okay.
The Garn's cheating at me.
It's okay, I'm
I
killing
can
him.
actually just outrun him.
He'll
faster.
die soon.
Killing the wing of SDC griefers in.
Yeah.
Take your time.
So the Coley DCI Conda is really good.
Yep.
One that a lot of people prefer is the bug killer.
Yeah, down in Pleiades. Yep, I know.
Because that drops data.
Yep, exactly. It's got 3
drops
data
data too.
beacons, and the only thing I don't care about for it is it's only got 3 beacons, and it's only got 3 cargo racks, which, as far as I know, only spawn a single mineral each time. Right, so generally
Yeah.
I find it
It's
faster
a little
to use
suboptimal,
Jameson.
but-
Yeah, but if you need just a little data and a little minerals, it is a one-stop shop for it, no question. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so then, but for grade 5, really, am I right that it pretty much is just
have to trade.
HGEs and trading, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
can do so. Some high grades are farmable from missions. So, like if you went
Sure.
to Rubigo,
Sure.
you can farm that
Biotech,
stuff.
exquisite focus, right?
Yep.
Yep.
The hard ones, core dynamic composites, that stuff. I mean, you pretty much have to do high grade emissions. There's no other way around that, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is just, and I find that I'll find a system like a Soul usually has a great drop rate for me, and even if I'm not necessarily getting core dynamics or don't need core dynamics or proprietaries, I'll do those and get enough. Like, I'll just get so many so quickly that it's worth using those to trade, right?
Also you get a lot of grade 5 manufactured from NPC condas in reses.
True, right?
I
and
know,
so, yep.
it's slow if you're trying to focus it, but like
Yep.
I'm full on most of the grade 5s from that stuff.
Yeah, and I,
It's like a real
and
PvE.
yeah, and I like doing, just go to a conflict zone with a farming anaconda with a bunch of collector limpets and just do some simple like blast atom combat where it's mindless, but it's more fun than high grades, obviously, right? Because at least you're getting to shoot at something, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah. So, okay. Well, I tell you what. Let's, as we're just, kind of like I'm just kind of sitting here watching everybody fly around. Let's talk a little bit. We'll segue into the combat stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the tournament that's coming up. Why don't you guys? I did put a video out on it. If you guys haven't seen it, you can check it out. I think I did post one right after it, but it explains all the rules, all the specifics, right? If you guys, but let's let Ryan, kind of tell us maybe the history of it, what the goal is, how it all works. Just tell us about it.
Yeah. So, hold on. I fucking made it. Maztec, I made it. 3%.
3%. God damn it.
Nice.
3%.
Nice. Where are you? There you are.
So the PvP League. This will be season 4 of the PvP League. So what it is it's usually a once a year kind of thing. It's meant to be more often, but everyone just kind of gets burned out.
Sure.
And just stops playing for a while after. Of the biggest PvP groups, the most known PvP groups, the best PvPers that are in the game, all get together and do a tournament to see who's the
Fucking
best.
Amber Alert. You guys heard that?
Yeah, I heard that.
I did hear that actually. I thought that was
Yeah, I
okay.
heard that.
That was loud as
Maztec's
fuck.
underage, so that might actually be for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
So, you get all the PvP groups, have everybody fight each other for a couple of weeks to figure out who's the best. The rule set is kind of different each year. Last year was a much more restrictive rule set because of the imbalance that engineers had, where it was no ships could repeat.
Oh, interesting.
You could
So
only
you couldn't have like you could have a single FDL in a wing, for example.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And you could only have one single grade 1 engineered module.
Oh,
And
and
you-
everything else had to be stock?
Everything else had to be stopped.
Really? Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, basically, it was a fun league, but a lot of people got burned out after that, and a lot of the people that were on the winning teams, I'd be willing to say that basically everyone on the AA team and the SDC team is no longer active in the game, and it happened pretty much right after that.
Gotcha.
It just really is a slog sometimes. for that one it is. For this one, not so much because everyone's flying the ships basically that they normally fly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
Yeah,
lot
I can,
easier to-
absolutely. I can see that. Right. I mean, I get the
Yeah.
idea of. I mean, okay. So, like, I've raced cars for about 10 years, and so I totally appreciate the idea of a stock league, right? You know, to keep everybody's on an even playing field as you can. But now, I think if I'm hearing right, the way engineering works is pretty much stock in that it's easy enough for everybody to have a maxed out ship without ridiculous amounts of grind, so it doesn't break it as much. Is that kind of the logic behind that? Would you say?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, everyone's the whole idea behind the rule set this year is to try and get people to fight in what they normally fight in,
Sure.
to bring what they fly. So basically, all engineering's allowed. The only real restrictions are ship size and heat weapons and no healing, no premium, which are standard
Sure.
PvP rule sets.
Sure.
So,
And no synth, not just no premium, but no synth at all, correct?
correct.
Yeah, so no
synth at all.
reloads. You wouldn't synth a heat sink reload, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, right? Yeah, you got to be
Whatever
able to
you
have a
got.
viable build from the start, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so normally in PvP, synth is kind of frowned upon. If you're synthing basic, not standard.
Sure.
Synthing basic, like literally just to reload. I mean, it's not ideal, but I mean, it's a lot. There are builds that are only viable because of synthing.
Sure.
But as far as premium goes and standard, that's pretty much a huge no-no in PvP because your opponent doesn't know that you have it, right?
Right.
It's like there's no way for me to know that you have a 30%
Damage,
DPS.
exactly. Right.
So the hope is with this rule set, we can keep everybody in what they already fight in. Nobody has to get comfortable in new builds. Like a couple people are gonna have to. Like, I'm probably gonna end up flying a DBS, which I don't normally fly.
Interesting. Okay.
But
Cobra Master Race.
no, get that out of here. So I'll end up flying a ship that I'm not normally flying, but I mean I can mess around with that. But we wanted to have the barrier to entry as low as we could get it, which we feel makes for a more interesting league because people are going to be. It's not practice that's gonna lose you the fight. It'll be skill.
Yeah, and I think kind of back to my comment about stock racing. That's what you want, right? You do want it to be skill versus skill as much as you can versus ship, right? Martin, what would you say is your normal meta ship? FDL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I normally fly an FDL. I've got a bunch of different ships built. But I try and mess around and switch weapons out.
Yeah.
So that I'm not just flying the standard like 3PA2 rail.
Yeah,
so,
it just gets boring, doesn't it? Right.
Well, I like to see something that we didn't used to have was the ability to experiment, right? Because before you had to basically commit to a build because it would take you 1,000 rolls to get the stuff that you needed. Now I can just go into ED Shipyard and say, oh, I wonder if this could work, and you tailor each piece to meet the power requirements, to meet the speed requirements, and you can see ahead of time whether it's, whether it might be viable. And you just go out, you roll the modules that you're missing, you put them on your ship, and you see if it works. Like we build that we kind of theory crafted a couple weeks back. It's a four rail and a thermal vent beam, right?
Yep.
But there's a specific little wrinkle about that thermal vent beam that we figured out that I guess wasn't super known outside, which is I'm not gonna let our trade secrets out.
Sure, of course.
There's a specific mod. There's a specific mod for it that's better than all the others by a very wide margin.
Okay.
And so in combat, I can fire all 4 of those rails on an essentially empty cap and not come anywhere close to overheating. I'll peak at like 60% heat. So if I were to be not in a wing, I would basically appear as an unresolved contact for 80% of the fight, unless I'm shooting at you. So if we're in a multi-wing fight, let's say it's 2 wings versus 2 wings, only 1 wing can target me at a time. So if they want to focus me, they have to be able to resolve me.
Sure.
And it's all hit scan damage. It's great. I really, really like the build. But it's not super ideal for everything, right? There's a time and a place for it. So we like to mess around. Like a lot of people come up with really crazy builds that are a lot of fun to fly. That's one of them.
Yeah. Okay. And so then, what else? Like, I guess what tell us a little bit about, like, we don't need to get into all the specifics of the rules in terms of all the different restrictions and stuff. All of that's in the videos if people are really interested, right? Talk a little bit about the format in terms of the rounds, the team sizes, the mix, that sort of stuff, right?
Yep. So team sizes are the standard format is 6v6. There's a 4v4 component in case this guy. So
I just muted him.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Thank you, Mensis.
Hey, Daniel.
Daniel, come on, dude.
Welcome.
Get it together, Daniel. God.
What the fuck, Daniel?
Yeah. So 6v6 is the standard format, which is 4 mediums and 2 smalls.
Okay.
4v4 is the fallback if there's a team that for some reason can't get 6.
Yeah, okay.
And it's 4 mediums.
And if I know there was some debate about this, and I don't know if it's been settled or not, where like if you got to field a team of 6 and a team of 4 makes it to the semis, are we dropping to a team of 4? Do you know if that's been decided really yet? I know it seemed confusing to me on that.
Yeah, so pretty much where we're at right now is we're just going to kind of wing it.
Okay, and just see how it turns out, basically. Deal with it as it comes up.
We don't really think there's going to be a team of like a PvP group that can only field 4 that will actually make it to
that
the
would
final.
Surprise me too. Yes, I completely agree with that. Right? Yeah.
It's possible, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm not super worried about that. I think that the teams that make it to the final will definitely be able to field a team of 6.
Yeah.
It may be like a one-off where, oh shit, we can't get a guy, and maybe we need to move a fight or something, but I'm not super worried about that.
Sure.
So it's 6v6, 4v4 fallback. They're double elimination. Each fight is best of 3 rounds. So, let's say SDC is fighting Nomads this week. We'll agree to, meet in Rocky Rings in Santu, 6v6.
Yep.
We schedule the time amongst ourselves. We let an adjudicator know when we schedule it for, and then now that's the scheduled time. If another team can't make it, tough shit.
Yeah.
You either make it or you forfeit.
Once you've agreed to the time, that you've agreed to the time.
Yeah.
Right. Shit happens,
Exactly.
and sorry, but shit happens, basically. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep. We're all adult. We all should be adults here anyway.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, best of 3. So whoever first 2 rounds. And then you either win or you take your loss. And so after 2 losses, you're basically out.
Yep. But every team gets 2 fights, right? Gets 2 rounds, right? So that, I think that's great.
Yep. So it's, again, the idea behind that is we want it to be competitive, but we want people to not worry too much about dropping around here or there, because when you're fighting in rings, shit happens, right? Kent can back me up on that. You tag a rock, and then with no pips, and now 60% of your shield's gone, and now you're going to get focused, and then the clock's ticking for you.
Is that part of the reason for doing it in rings, just so there is kind of that added element of the rocks, of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, rings make it so it gives you more opportunity to be evasive.
Yep.
Because there are obstacles that people are going to have to shoot around.
You got some defenses. Sure.
In open space, I mean, you're just kind of out there.
Yeah. And is there etiquette, or would the adjudicator maybe call it bullshit if a team is, running into open space and is trying to get out of the rings? I mean, is it just kind of honor system so much like, hey, guys, we stay in the rings kind of deal?
Yeah, it's pretty much honor system, to be honest. Yeah. Fights move.
Yeah, of course, right?
There's not much you can do to keep it in the rings, but I mean, there's strategy around that too, right? If your team, if you think that you're going to do better outside of the rings, maybe you try and drag the fight outside of the rings.
Sure.
If you think you're going to do better in, and you try and you try and make sure that the fight doesn't move out and force your enemy to come to you.
Sure.
There's a bunch of different strategies around that. So ring fights are always the most interesting because so much stuff can happen kind of on its own. So we're feeling real good about it. We've got we've already got like 20 teams signed up.
Wow. Okay, that's great. I was wondering how many it was
yeah.
at this point. How many
We're
did
up
you
to
have
3.
for last season? Do you remember?
I think it was 19 at the beginning, but we had one that just kind of didn't show up.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
But so already,
it's,
already a better turnout than last time, and we've still got a month before registration ends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we've
yeah.
got some teams out there that are putting a group together, making sure everyone can meet
Yep.
when they need to before they sign up for it. Because
Sure,
once
sure.
you sign up for it, we're counting on you. We're going to start making brackets.
Sure. Sure.
So I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. The pace is going to be over the course of like a month or so.
Okay. Okay.
So each team should have to do like maybe 1-2 fights at the max.
Okay. Okay.
So it's not difficult to get together for three back-to-back fights in a specific system.
Sure.
In a specific week.
Sure. And who is, the simple kind of question, who is welcome to join and who is not welcome?
Everyone's welcome.
Yeah. Okay.
The only people that would not be welcome are combat loggers. Don't join.
Yep. That's more than
Or do join. Do join. I don't care as long as you don't log in the league. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, yes, obviously, Jesus, right? Because being clear with this, obviously, each of the fights are to the death, right? I think I saw in the rules that if a team if somebody says GG and tries to not, right, and decides that that's and the other team wants to let them, great. That's one thing. By the way, just quickly, Star Squatch, if you're listening, if you've got slot in your wing and you want to invite me or somebody to see if we can get you instanced in, go right ahead. I just saw your chat. Feel free to send me a wing invite if you've got room, and we'll get you in.
He's in the instance.
Okay. I just saw that in chat. So yeah, again, that it really is open to everybody, right? Like I know, I'll admit, and I don't think any of the guys are listening, and I don't mean to call them out, but I'm definitely pushing the creator guys to join me on a team, right? I'd love to see Obsidian and Yamix and Down Earth Astronomy and right. Oh, it'd be great, right? Now look, we'd get the shit kicked out of us, right? But who cares, right? It's it's a video game, right? It's for fun. I even went so far as to tell Obsidian that I was like, look, because I don't even think he's got like Celine Jean unlocked, as little engineering as he does. And I was like, look, dude, I will fucking play your account, unlock your engineers, and build you a damn ship if you're willing to do this, right? Like that's how badly I want him to do it. Because again, I think a lot of guys, and Obsidian's definitely not one of the ones that I would put as a Care Bear, right? But he's certainly, and I'm not calling him out, but he's certainly, and a lot of his audience is on that side of, PvP is griefing, PvP is bullshit. All these guys want to do is just murder each other. They're a bunch of asshats, right? And yeah, there are some guys in the community that are that way. And yeah, some of us every now and then go kill people because it's a video game, right? But for the vast majority, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the majority of the PvP community are just good guys having fun. It's a different play style. I think once I'll say to everybody, once you taste human blood, it just like NPC combat, even Thargoid combat, which I do really, really enjoy, right? It just doesn't hold a candle. I was telling these guys earlier, right before the stream, I took a few hours, went and pirated, which I haven't done in a while, and I try to pirate and not kill, and actually pirate, right? Engaged 4 ships, pirated 3 successfully, a couple fought back, really good role-playing with them. Last guy was a novice Corvette that in a Cobra and an unengineered crate, and a buddy of mine were in, and I had 2 mine launchers, a ground bomb, and a long-range burst laser. We killed this vet in 1 minute and 15 seconds, right? And,
oh boy, do I have a clip for you.
Trust me, my clip will be going around after I post it later, right?
No,
I saw it. I saw it. Oh, dude. Mage, your video was fucking. And honestly, I was sitting there. Lego was in chat with us when we were doing it, right? And again, I do try to role play pirate, right? I consider myself a gentleman pirate when I do that. I have nothing against killing or just straight up murdering, but that's what I was trying to do. And when it was like, okay, the guy's not stopping, you'll see the video. I sent him multiple warnings, like, please stop firing. I don't want to kill you now. I'll admit, I was not upset that he kept shooting back, right? But I said to Lego, I was like, oh my God, I wish I had my super pen rails, right? It's like, oh shit, I wish I had pen, right? Because I did have a ground bomb with, the penetrator, right? Penetrator munitions on it, right? So I immediately went for his power plant, right? But we actually killed his hull, right? From 100% hull to dead in 1 minute and 7 seconds, I think it was. right?
Those big ships think their shields will never go
Oh,
down, man.
that was a crazy thing, dude. With my burst laser, I got his shield gen to 50%. We took his shields down with 3 grade 3 long range lasers, larges, and 1 medium long range burst. That took his
That's
shields down in like
impressive.
a minute. Right? And that, boys and girls, will lead to something we'll talk about here in just a little bit as we kind of get going, which is pip management, right? I am not the greatest with pip management. I do use macros for pip management. So if you guys are watching on stream, I can switch between what I consider all 4 modes of, or all 6 modes of pips, right? Where your full systems, 2 in engines, 2 in weapons, your 2 systems, 4 in engine, 4 in weapons, or your shieldless and your 024042. Like those are the 6 to me, right? If you guys are new to pip management, I have a video on that as well. It talks about the benefits of it. It talks about how to set up macros using something like voice attack. You can do it with keyboards. In my opinion, and you guys, especially Ryan and you can see you guys, I'm very curious. I think the last thing you want to do, especially when you're new, is have to sit here and do this manually, especially if you're a HOTUS pilot, right? Because trying to use my thumb to do that while I'm doing there's just no way. Right, I need to be able to just it's right on my HOTUS, right at my index finger. I've got one hat that I can just very quickly switch between every mode that I have. I know right where they are, and if somebody's shooting at me, I've got 4 pips in systems. If they're not shooting at me, I've got my pips somewhere else to charge whatever I need to charge while I'm free. Right? Would you guys agree with that? What would you guys give advice for pip stuff?
I mean, the biggest thing for people to learn how to pip manage is to think about where they need their pips to be like 5 seconds from now. And that's kind of how you want to start setting your stuff up. So like if I know, so like Maztek and I are just kind of fighting right now.
Sure.
So I know that he's going to be shooting at me in a second. So I've already got my pips in systems, right? After I joust him, I'm going to move back to weapons because I just shot at him in the joust, right? So I need to move my pips around before I need them, so that they're there when I actually need them.
That's right. That's right. And just quickly, for those that don't understand this exactly, a simple way to put it is, if you have 4 pips in systems, your shields are roughly 2.6 times stronger than no pips in systems. Right. So it's obviously your top speed difference is huge. Like right now, if everybody's watching me, I'm not going to boost. I'll just go in a straight line. I've got no pips in engines. Looks like my max is 240. I put full pips in engines, and all of a sudden I'm rocketing up to 370 roughly. Right. All of the distributors work that way. It's a very important thing. If you're going to be lazy in NPC combat and you're learning this, 402. Right, if you're taking fire, you've got to have pips and systems. I hear a lot of people that will tell me, oh, but then I can't fire my 5 beam lasers as much, right? Well, you know what? You can't fire at all if you're dead, right? So
That's a good point.
You've got to keep your defenses have got to come first, right? And if you guys disagree with that, tell me. Ryan,
I mean that's basically it.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'll say is, so in PvE, because NPCs are basically brain dead, you can get away with really shit pip management. Like you can get away with just sitting 402, but that does not cut it in PvP.
Not even close.
It does not cut it.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, the
definitely have
time
to
where
be
you
more
want to
active.
practice, right, is that NPC combat. Don't look at it as, oh, this is so easy, it doesn't. I'll see so many people are like, oh, well, I don't care, it doesn't really matter. Well, this is the time that it does matter, right? This is the time to get comfortable with that kind of stuff, so that when you're in the heat of battle, right, and you're in the heat of combat like that, you're going to have so much kind of going on mentally and emotionally that the last thing you want to have to deal with is things like that you're not used to. Right, you want to know where those are, know what you're doing, be very comfortable, because the thing that I think is going to, lose a fight for you or make the difference between, a beginner pilot, somebody like me, and then somebody at the level of Ryan and these guys, is that being calm under pressure, right? Like knowing where everything is, being comfortable with everything, being confident. And if you don't have that, as we all know, that's when mistakes are going to happen, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Why don't we start like this, Ryan, actually? One of the things I'm thinking is, I think it would be really cool for me to see and for everybody else to see, is not only through my cockpit, which we'll do in a second, why don't I come out, jump into my third-party camera, watch you guys do the exercise, have you kind of talk us through as you're flying, like, as you change your pips, kind of shout it out, just, kind of narrate, if this makes sense to you, like narrate to us as you're flying, and then let's switch and have me do that. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah. So what I'll do actually, this might be more interesting. Is I'm gonna go back to the station. I'll switch into my FDL.
Okay.
And we'll I can multi-crew
Oh,
you in.
oh, that'd be great. That, actually, you know what? That is probably the much better way. That's absolutely right. Because then I can jump in the third-party camera of your ship and watch from there. That's a great idea, actually. Right? Yep. Let's do exactly that. Right.
Yeah, I think that'll be the best.
And then, do you want to just do this here at the station? Do we want to fly out to the rings? What do you guys want to do? What's easier for you?
Oh no, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Just right here at the
actually, no,
station.
fuck it. We'll do it in the. We'll do it at in the rings.
Okay. Perfect.
Oh, someone. I think Maztec shot the station.
I
What
see
an
that.
idiot.
I saw that.
Group down, boys.
Or
Group
was
down.
it? Was it
And I
Star?
made it again. No, it was
Mistake
Maz.
7 made, commanders. Mistake 7 made.
I may have forgot about the heat bug and double banked. That was fun.
That was
Oh
a conversation.
no. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a huge instance.
Oh, what's
Yeah, the
Also-
heat bug's messing me up.
It is. What's the heat bug?
Mate.
Tell me real quick, guys.
If you have a lot of commanders in one instance, I think it's the rate at which you gain
Well,
heat,
no,
and then
it's,
your idle heat.
can I explain real
raises.
quick?
Yeah.
It's basically your heat damage scales with the number of commanders in the instance.
Ah.
So the more people there are in the instance, the more heat damage will destroy your modules. So like in this case,
Gotcha.
your modules will be destroyed like almost instantly if you overheat by any substantial amount.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
great
interesting.
programming.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's where I was kind of trying to be as salt. I wouldn't say free, but as low sodium as we could tonight. But yeah, obviously, right? You know, and something, and chat, forgive me for it's really going to be hard for me tonight to kind of pay too much of attention to chat. If you guys come into Discord, you know, again, everybody's welcome in Discord tonight. We're going to kind of try to keep the conversation to a little minimum, other than those left that are directly involved. If you've got something that you think has really got to get out there, you've got a question that you think is really valued to everybody, you know, feel free. But let's beware there. I do want to see something that I saw Dunkel posted. He asked, sorry for the dumb question. He's a crappy combat pilot. What is situational awareness? And in short, situational awareness is just knowing what's going on around you without necessarily having to look around you constantly, right? So for example, you know, Potter's right here in front of me. If I turn this way, he's now to my left, he's behind me, and I just kind of instinctually know he's behind me now, he's about to come around in front of me, and you just are kind of aware of what's around you, who's around you, as much as you possibly can during any situation, right? It's important in combat like this. It's super important in racing, right? I've said this a few times. I've raced for a long time. If I'm in a race and there's cars around me, I don't have to, and I can't look over my shoulder and see where they are. I just have to instinctually know where they are, feel where they are, right? So that we don't crash into each other, or in this case, I know where my target is, I know where my attackers are, that kind of stuff. Obviously, it gets a lot harder when you've got, you know, a 6-on-6 fight, or tonight if we do have a big, you know, Hunger Games melee, whatever it is, it's even harder then because you've got multiple targets shooting at you at once. Would you say that some of the best way to practice this is with NPCs would be a conflict zone where you have multiple targets shooting at you at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, it's NPCs shooting at you and people shooting at you is just so different.
It totally is.
I would say the biggest thing that probably your viewers can do about situational awareness isn't even in the fight. It's in Super Cruise, right? So people say all the time, like, oh, there was nothing I could do. I got griefed. I got ganked. There's nothing I could do. When what really happened is they made 5 or 6 mistakes that led to them in that situation. And so when I talk about situational awareness, when you jump in, like, knowing where you're going first. So if you're in open and you're going to a CG, understand that is going to be a hotspot for people that want to shoot.
It's going to be one of the most dangerous places in the entire game, right?
It's CGs and open or end game areas, right? You wouldn't go to like
Wilderness
Diablo, like Diablo. You're not going to go do a greater rift right when you first fucking spawn in on a new character.
Sure.
Right? You got to gear up first. You have to get your experience first. So when you go to a CG and you know there's going to be people that might be shooting at you, don't bring a shieldless T6.
Absolutely.
If you do bring a shieldless T6, when you jump into the instance, check your contacts tab. And if you see FDL, FAS, Chieftain, maybe fuck off for a little bit and come back, try again later.
Yep.
And-
Another thing that I always tell people too is
like-
look at your chat, right? Bring up your chat,
Yeah.
go to your second tab, and if all of a sudden you see in local a whole bunch of ships listed, right? Those are humans, right? I think, this is, we're take a lot of this for granted. I know I have some beginner viewers watching. If you see a hollow square, and I know I use different colors, everybody, but if you see hollow, that is a commander. If you see a hollow triangle, that's a commander with either hard points out, could be an advanced discovery scanner, or it can be an interdictor, right? So when you target somebody like Star Squatch is here in front of me, right? Once I've targeted and scanned him, I go to my sub targets. I see shit. He's in a combat FDL, all PAs, and an interdictor, right? He's probably going to attack me or attack somebody. He's here for combat, right? I just posted the link in. I did a take on, and I'll totally give Rinsler credit for the inspiration on Surviving Open, a beginner's guide. It covers all this kind of stuff, right? Like, yes, open can be dangerous. It is not the Wild West, like, murder fest that people want to make it out to be on the forums, right? I want to say in my first 100 hours, I got griefed like 4 times, and I figured out that was less than like 0.5% of my total game time and less than 1% of my total assets. And really, I'm going to avoid an entire game mode because of that, right? Nobody likes to get griefed, right? It sucks if you're in a trade ship or an explorer ship and you get killed and you lose a rebuy. I mean, there's no question there, right? If you're in a Type 9 and somebody just, or at the Sidewinder and somebody just murders you, that's no fun, right? But the reality is, you hardly ever even see another human, right? Let alone have them attack you, unless you're somebody like somewhere like a CG system, maybe an engineer system, that kind of thing, right? So Ryan's exactly right. Situational awareness there is absolutely key. You can keep yourself safe in any properly built ship, right? And a shieldless Type 6 is not a properly built ship. Oh, hold on, Ryan. I got the 15-second timer because Star Squad shot me, so I'm joining now.
Notorious griefer.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, right.
Squash, I'm going to ask you to stop griefing.
You want to run. You don't have to be engineered. It helps, obviously, but you've got to be running A-rated modules, potentially a chaff launcher, shield boosters, right? I mean, like, again, the proper stuff that's going to make sense for whatever activity you're doing, right? Don't run a shieldless trader thinking, oh, I can get another 32 tons of cargo. Like I said earlier, you can't carry cargo if you're dead. You can't shoot if you're dead, right? So I'm in ship, Ryan. Where would you like? And what's funny? Actually, later I'm going to have to jump in VR. I've never been in the passenger seat in VR in the FTL, right? I'm going to stay out of VR for now, right?
That's going to make you sick as shit.
Oh, I've got an
not going to know where
I've got an iron stomach. I've taught racing for 10 years. Trust me, I'll be fine. But I am going to jump into the external camera during this. I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth. Where would you like the pip? Can we just leave it in weapons for now?
Just put it in sys.
In sys. Okay, cool. There we go.
Okay.
So I'm going to kind of give the stage over to Ryan here. I'm going to try to watch chat a little bit, but we're going to give the floor to Ryan. We got Ryan, Ent, and who else is with us out here, guys?
Space Mage.
And Space Mage.
That's
Okay,
me.
Great. So if I can, I'll kind of give the floor to you 3 guys. Talk about the different things you're doing. If one of you makes a mistake versus the other, like really just give us as much as you can as we're doing this.
All
Yeah,
these people
so-
can watch me kill myself on an asteroid.
That's exactly why I invited you, man.
Exactly.
The rocks always
so-
win.
So basically, what we're gonna do, it's this is evasion practice. It's evasion practice for me, and it's PA aiming practice for them. So PvPers are notoriously difficult to hit with fixed weapons. PAs are one of the harder weapons to actually hit pilots with. So in a wing fight, generally what happens is, please stop griefing my shields. I need every megajoule. In a wing fight, it's not a 1v1v1v1v1v1v1. It's usually a 4v1 it's a 3v1 and a 3v1.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So one wing will focus one guy, another wing will focus another guy, and the guy that gets focused has to do his best to stay alive long enough for his wing to kill the other person before he can die. So you want to trade people, right? So in this scenario, Space and Ent are going to shoot at me, and I'm going to do my best to survive as long as I can. This is not really a fight that I'm meant to win. Everyone's shooting at me with 1 PA, and I'm shooting back with 1 PA. But my job is to stay alive as long as I can, hopefully to get one of these idiots to take their own shields off by hitting one of the asteroids,
Who's that?
and I'm gonna try and shoot back at them as well to try and make sure that they have to move pips around, right? Because if they're sitting 0-4-2 in their pips, so they've got 4 in engines and 2 in weapons, 0 in systems.
Sure.
They're going to be more combat effective than if they need to move pips back into systems.
That's
Every
right,
second
that's right.
they move pips out of engines or weapons, that's more survival time for me.
And
So
am I right in
ahead.
assuming that everybody's running efficient PAs?
yeah,
Yeah.
so there will be focused PAs are pretty rare unless you've got legacy PAs,
Okay. Okay.
because the new one's not really great anymore.
And you're gonna, and I'll admit, I said this to Ryan earlier. You're definitely gonna see focused when I fly. So the difference for those that don't know that are new to PAs is PAs are, as Ryan was alluding to, they're really difficult to hit with because of the shot speed, right? So Ryan, just fire off one real quick because I'm in your third party camera and people can see how slow the projectile actually moves, right? Yeah, there you go, just shooting that rock, right? A focused PA is gonna travel at essentially double that velocity, so it makes it much easier to hit the target. Well, the difference, the problem though, is an efficient PA gets a 35% damage boost. It also has, I don't remember exactly, you guys might remember, a less distributor draw, and it's significantly cooler, right, than a focused PA, right? So you'll see me when I'm in my Chieftain. Now, I'm not going to be firing a ton because of what we're doing, but a lot of times I have to be very careful and manage how often I'm firing because I will overheat, right? I made the mistake a long time ago when I first started using PAs. I started using APAs, which have a much higher rate of fire, and that's what I'm running tonight, guys. I knew you were going to make fun of me. APS have a much higher rate of fire, and they shoot much faster if they're focused, right? So for me, I learned that early on, and I haven't yet, and I just need to fucking do it. I haven't forced myself to learn focused just because I don't get a chance to do this enough, right? Especially since I started the channel. So I just haven't learned it. But for those new pilots or getting into PAs, stay with standard PAs, stay with efficient, make yourself learn those off the bat, and you will thank yourself and not be kind of in the boat that I'm in where I need to unlearn something, right?
Yeah, we joke that focused PAs are gimbaled PAs.
Oh God, they totally are. They totally are, right? It's as close to a gimbal as you're going to get, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're basically hit scans.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and we'll get started with this.
Great, yeah.
So basically, so before they start shooting at me, basically what I'm going to do, the way that I was taught to be evasive by Lord Commander John Rains,
Okay.
is
Blessed be his name.
basically what I'm going to do
Notice the
is
ship.
I'm basically going to keep jousting these guys. So I'm going to joust Ent, then I'm going to joust Space Mage. And so the idea behind that is if I just keep jousting Ent, I'm opening myself up to a shot from Space Mage, right? He's got no pressure on him to try and be evasive, because if I'm only jousting Ent, he knows I can't be shooting him if I'm shooting an Ent, right? I can't shoot at two people at the same time. I'm not running turrets. So you want to boost back through the group so that they have the smallest time on target possible. What a lot of people do when they're trying to quote unquote be evasive is they boost away in a straight line and they just roll. Rolling does not do anything for you. It makes you easier to shoot because you're boosting away in a straight line. So hitting PAs against an evasive target is one of the harder things that you can do in the game. Especially in rings like this where I've got obstacles I can put myself behind or put them between me and the people shooting at me. So we'll go ahead and get started. You're going to watch me bounce off of rocks just like everyone else is. So let's go.
Yeah.
What's your passive heat, Ryan? I'm having trouble.
Right now I'm at 34. I already hit a rock.
You sure did. Yep, he's at
Good for you.
34. He's at
All right.
42 after a boost.
I'm going to do it again. Damn it.
It's a good start. Let's
This
go.
is going great.
And so I'm in the cockpit view now, so you guys can watch where he's putting his pips. You'll notice because I've got a pip insistence for him, he would have been 420 just then, but I was breaking that pip for him.
So I got to get back in these rings.
It's like paintball.
Yeah, pretty much.
Are we gonna switch target?
Yeah, once I crack, we'll shoot it Ent next.
And the bummer is I can't remember. Is there a view where I can actually see our shield health from inside the cockpit?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think I can. I can only see our hull. So just you'll have to kind of tell us as your shields crack or if they're about to crack. Oh no, I take it back.
Another
I'm
one.
sorry. It's right in my
I'm
fucking
sorry.
face. It's right up at the top where the multi-crew sign is. Sorry, moron.
I'm gonna crack. as normal, rocks are doing the majority of the damage.
Yeah, rocks always win.
Rocks always win.
That's
I was
one
gonna
of the big reasons an FDL is so popular in these. It has the lateral thrusters to actually evade. the
Yeah,
rock.
and I was gonna
Yeah.
mention that too. Is obviously you're FA off right now, and
Yeah.
we're not gonna get into that whole explanation for those that aren't familiar with it. But I think everybody's enough familiar with it. Talk to me a little bit of how you're using your thrusters: lateral, vertical. Are you using both often?
So pretty much. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm cracked. Ant, you're up.
Wait, I
I'll
just
drop
hit
one
one
real
too.
Okay, we'll shoot at Space Mage then.
All right, and
He's
drop
good.
wing then because I need to run.
And I'm gonna crack. Oh, I'm gonna die.
That
Hold
ain't
on, let me
fair.
reboot, get my shit back.
How much hull do you have on this
Um,
build, Ryan?
I think like 2,200.
Okay, wow. Well, you
I've
took
got
a lot
enough.
more damage than I. Yeah, okay. In fact, I can see. I can show your stats. I didn't realize that. I was forgetting that it did that. Right.
Yeah. So, I forget what the question was. I don't know.
Yeah, your thrusters, lateral thrusters, vertical
Oh, yeah, yeah.
thrusters, horizontal thrusters.
So pretty much you have to use lateral and vertical at the same time, pretty much all the time. All right, so
Okay.
let's shoot at
Right here.
Mage. So you have to do it every time. Every time.
It's all right. That's why. I mean, you guys are. This is great.
That's why we do it.
Yep.
We need
Yeah.
practice. So you really need to be using them all the time, or else you're not getting as much as you can out of your FDL. It is not an easy ship to fly FA off because of kind of how squirrely it is. But if you can get control over it, it helps immensely. It helps immensely because you can decouple yourself from. That was a good hit. You can decouple your aiming from, the direction that you're facing, which makes it a lot easier. Oh,
Sure.
I should have had that one.
Sure. What would you guys, and if as I'm, I know it's hard to maybe talk and fly at the same time. So if others, feel free to jump in, the rest of the guys, because we do have a great crowd tonight. What would you guys say is the? I mean, it's probably hard to say the best starter PvP ship, or we'll just start calling it combat at this point. Would you say the FDL is a great starter ship? Would you say the Chieftain, the Vulture, even? What do you guys think? The Viper 3?
FDL is the gold standard, pretty much.
Yep, okay.
So if someone is just getting in, I would definitely recommend. The FDL.
Okay.
Chieftain's got to be a close second though.
Chief would be a close second.
Okay.
After that, I would honestly say like a Vulture.
Okay.
Vulture is a cheap
Okay.
ship.
Okay.
It's decently maneuverable. It's really tough to kill after you fully engineered. It's really tough to kill because it's just such a small target.
Yeah.
I saw that.
No good for the dropship.
Flip me.
Dropship would be very near the bottom.
Okay.
Very near the bottom.
For a minute, I was
that's,
going to say, really, you guys like the because for a minute I thought you were saying you liked it. Well, I
Well,
was like, well, wait a minute, what?
We like it, but it's not good.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
and it's
not-
not a good starter ship. Would you agree?
No,
Oh yeah.
definitely not. I mean, if you're picking up a dropship, the dropship, if you're not Harry Potter, if you're not John Rains, if you're not Yamato, if you're not Rinsler, it's a coffin. Is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
coffin.
Okay.
It's not maneuverable. It's
It's not forgiving, if I'm remembering
it's
right.
just not at all.
Yeah.
That's one of the nice
Here's
things about the
another
Chieftain.
one.
It's one of the more Oh shit! I hit rock with no
Okay.
shields.
And
Pips.
your turn.
Fuck, I might die.
You want to reboot Ent and get 50%?
I'll just bank.
Oh, he's got banks.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And I'm going to point that out to everybody too. If you guys didn't notice earlier, when Ryan rebooted, he went. Correct me if I'm wrong. He went FA on, and then when you reboot with FA
Okay, now
on, if your shields are already charging, you will get them back after the reboot at 50%. Right. So for this exercise, it's
Yeah.
a much faster way than waiting for that full regen time.
That's not entirely correct. You only get your shields back
Yeah.
if you're below 50 meters second.
50
Oh,
meters a
okay,
second,
okay, thank you,
And
thank you.
and you can't take any damage.
Yeah. Okay. I knew that, but you do have to be FA on, correct?
No.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Okay.
You just can't be moving.
You just can't be moving more than 50 meters a second. Okay, thank you.
What I tend to do is if I'm trying to run away from someone and I know they're chasing but they're maybe 10, 15k away,
Uh-huh.
if I stop still, they're probably going to get in range. But what you can do is you can boost FA off, probably hit in 500 meters, reboot. As the reboot comes to an end, turn FA on, ship will come to a stop at about 50 meters a second, you get your shields back.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Slick.
Yeah, I mean that's a great way to do it. So rebooting is not super viable in combat.
I was just about to ask
it
you to
is-
talk about that. Thank you.
So
Good
it
segue.
can be. It can be. I mean, every PvPer has had a fight where they've pulled a ghost reboot off, where they were getting focused and they were able to pull distance and just get a nice little reboot off.
Yep.
I mean, I've had fights.
You go
I've had
cold,
fights
so
where
you're
I've
going to
done
drop
it.
off people's targeting, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pop a heat
Um,
sink or two.
Yeah, and just hopefully you can vanish before they figure out where you went, because the second that you reboot, you're just kind of sitting there. And if someone catches you, you're going to be in some shit. So, I mean, like I've pulled multiple reboots off in fights before, in prismatics and bi-weaves. It's difficult to do, but it's super powerful if you can pull it off.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah.
Because you get 50% of your shields
Yeah.
back if you've got a lot of shields.
Yeah, that can be
that can be
enormous,
a
right?
big
Yeah,
help.
absolutely, right.
Big
Especially if
help.
you're in large ships, which we haven't really touched on. I'm certainly not a fan of large ship combat. Is it safe to say that
Yeah.
for the most part you guys aren't either?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
big ships.
Big coffins.
I
I
would
agree.
don't fly big ship in PvP if you're at all interested in becoming better.
Wow.
Don't do it until. Hold on, let me qualify that, Harry. Let me qualify that. Don't do it until you've learned what you're doing first. Because the problem with big ships is people learn a lot of bad habits in them. So they sit permapips to 402, right? Which makes it really difficult when you get in a more nimble ship later. So if you're used to just sitting 402 and face tanking stuff, when you in your Corvette, when you get in your FDL, you're gonna have one hell of a time when people are boosting around you and you're unable to line stuff up. And people,
Nice.
fucking Ram Space Mage,
I saw that.
blue on blue
I didn't get
crime.
Ram.
Dude, that's my job.
I didn't take
Yeah,
any damage.
I popped you.
Yeah,
Wait, me?
definitely from my view as well.
oh, well, I didn't
I
take any
hit, I
damage.
hit your belly. I wasn't going fast. It was just like a little quick.
Okay, that might have been it.
Just
Love
more of a
tap.
bump. Yeah, more of a bump.
Yeah, there's another hit.
And how many megajoules do you have on that?
He's got 1,000, 1,100.
No.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
I've got 500.
Okay.
It'd be nice if we could hit him.
I don't want to get too deep because this is obviously can be a very deep subject. But why don't we very quickly talk about outfitting, kind of do's and don'ts?
God.
Like I see that in this build you've got 6 boosters. I also see that you've got 3 of them turned off. I know
Yeah.
the tournament limits ships to 4 boosters maximum. So
How
other
do I not
than
hit one?
shields, what do you guys see as the defensive meta? Am I right that it's mostly going to be heat sinks, and that for the most part you're going to leave chaff at home because folks are not going to be running gimbals, and if they are, you're not really having
Yeah.
to worry about it too much anyway.
So let me talk about this specific build.
Yeah,
So this
yeah,
build,
please.
it's got 6 boosters, but they're all E-rated boosters.
Interesting. Okay.
So
They are actually.
this
yeah, I see
ship
that.
is significantly faster, which is why I'm having a huge problem here. So like I'm boosting 583 in this thing. Most PvP fit FDLs will be in the 540 to 560 range, depending on what they're outfit with. Like I'm running a class 4 power plant on this to give you an example. So this
Interesting.
build is
Okay.
way more squirrely than normal.
And what is your boost speed in this? Because I'm not seeing that.
580.
Okay.
So watch. I'll boost away in a straight line. So you can see I'm up to 570 right there.
I
I'm gonna
can't
do
see
it
your
one
speed,
time.
unfortunately, on my
Oh,
display.
okay.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. Right.
So I'm up to 581 is I think.
Yeah.
what
And
it
in
is
normal
that
meta
I'm running.
FDL is going to be in the 550 range.
Mid 550s is
Yeah.
usually pretty standard.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's the faster you go, the more likely you are to bump into shit. I don't normally fly this. Oh, that was a ram.
I saw that.
I don't normally
big
fly
time.
this, so I'm not as comfortable in this as I would be in another ship.
Yeah. Okay.
But so as for outfitting, chaff is going to be important because gimbals are relatively uncommon in PvP. But when you start talking about arranged fights, people are definitely going to be running. There are definitely going to be some gimbal boats out
Because
there.
they're planning, they're kind of planning for each other. You know what you can set up against to a small degree. Right?
Well, and the thing is, you want to force people to spend those utilities, right?
Sure.
It's metagaming. So here, I'm going to reboot real quick. So if
Alright, my shields are
my
down.
wing is fighting, if my wing is fighting your wing, right, and you know that we're all PA rail guys, right? You know that we're not going to have gimbals, so you don't have to bring chaff. So that's 2 other utilities you have free now.
Yep.
Potentially, based on your build. Here, let's go rearm repair.
Okay.
And maybe start.
Sure. We can do that.
I don't know if you want to.
No, that's great.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. This is great. Why don't we keep talking? I'll just stay in your ship just for the view as we're flying back and talking. But then, I'll jump in mine and follow you guys out when you're on your way back out.
Sounds good. So
2v2.
Well, we've got more than enough. We could do a big boy wing fight.
Well, let's do at least a few minutes of what you guys just did with me flying, if that's okay, right?
Yep, absolutely.
With as you guys are watching, like I said before, as you see the mistakes that I'm making, call me out, give me input on what I'm doing right and wrong, that kind of stuff. And we don't have to do that for too terribly long, right? And then let's absolutely do a wing fight, and see what that looks like. We can see the difference between everybody focus me at one point, and then maybe we'll shift the focus, right, just to not kill me instantly, just so everybody can still watch, right?
Generally, it's when shields go down.
Okay, that's great. When you do practice stuff like this.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So what we'll do this one in open space.
Okay.
So that you're not going to be
dealing with rocks.
You're not going to be.
That's great. Thank you.
I like how I hit the fewest.
Oh, of course, you get interdicted by an NPC right now.
Yeah, I know, right? So, as far as outfitting goes, you wanna force your opponents to bring stuff that they wouldn't otherwise bring. So chaff. So make sure that you've got a gimbal in the wing, so that you can punish someone that doesn't bring chaff, and maybe force them to bring it next, like in the second round. So that's one less set of heat sinks, or that's one less booster that they can bring, because now they have to bring chaff, or you're gonna have 100% time on target.
And we can, just to clarify for everybody, you are welcome to change ships and loadouts in between rounds, in between matches. Correct? Just confirming that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it really comes down to personal preference, because once you're in a wing, individual ships don't matter as much, right? So in a 1v1, the specific build matters a whole lot. When it's a 4v4, each specific build matters less, and the group matters more, right? So there's a trade-off. Basically, the more people you get into a fight, the less each individual build matters. The 2v2, they're still kind of important, but not quite as important as a 1v1. So you want to make sure that you've got different weapon types. You want to make sure that you've got different ship types, that you've got people that can run other people down. There's a lot of stuff that you need to make sure that you've got ready. You're going to see some off the wall stuff, I think. But you're also going to see like a lot of meta builds. There's going to be PA and rail FDLs. There's going to be hit scan FDLs. There's going to be probably some PA Vipers, stuff like that, right?
Okay, yep.
There's going to be a lot of different builds, but I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and so then I would say, okay, so obviously we're going to see, we've talked about chaff. Obviously shield boosters are an easy given. What about, I'm assuming also heat sinks would be a common one, but point defense at ECM, not necessarily, because seekers, just to be clear with everybody, seekers and pack hounds are not allowed. They're just, we would all agree, way too OP against hull, right? It's too easy to not sub-target anything, blast away at somebody with missiles and damage their weapons, right? Those that PvP fight with me when we do little goofy shit, I use a pack hound rack on this chieftain. Honestly, for that reason, right? It is totally a crutch weapon, right? It's something that helps me, right, because of my somewhat limited skill there, right? But it's the kind of thing that in this would just be way OP, right? So is it fair enough to say that that we won't see any ECM, even though dumbfires are going to be allowed? We're not going to worry about that and worry about ECM and point defense. Am I right?
Yeah, there's no reason to carry those. Dumbfires, I'd be really shocked if someone brings them. I mean, they can.
Yeah.
But there are higher damage weapons that are just as difficult to land. Like PAs are just as hard to land. compared to dumbfires,
Right.
and they do a whole hell of a lot more damage.
Exactly, right.
But
and-
yeah, the rule set was that way because otherwise,
especially against the
people
small
would be
ships.
incentivized. Yeah, people would be incentivized to bring seekers.
Right.
And just you focus a hybrid, you seeker their weapons off and move on to the next
yeah.
one, and it's kind of a boring meta.
It totally is, right? And like I said, the small ships are going to be fodder just that much faster, right? Because you've just got a locking weapon on them. It's just completely agree. We do. I mentioned this to Ryan. For those that don't know, we do a little game we play at times called Sidewinder Slaughter. Everybody starts at a bone stock E-rated Sidewinder. You can't add. You can remove anything, but you can't add anything or upgrade anything. And every time you melee outside the station, and every time you die, you get to upgrade one module, right? And for that, we also ban Seekers because otherwise, all of a sudden, the first person comes out with Seekers, and that's kind of it, right? It's not fun, right? I saw somebody either on my video or I think it was on my video commented, well, why so many rules, right? This is PvP or something. I was like, look, these guys have these rules for a reason because they understand the balance of how this works and they want it to be fun, right? This isn't just, it's not just about blasting at people. It's about having it in a balanced way that makes it competition and makes it fun, right? Other modules, we talked about, let's see, what else would there be? Chaff, heat sinks, boosters, obviously not scanners. I mean, I guess that's really pretty much it we're going to see, correct?
Say that again, sorry.
Between chaff, boosters, and heat sinks, there's not really much of anything else you're going to see, right?
Yeah, there's no reason for anything else. I mean, FDLs are going to be probably 4 boosters, 2 chaff single heatsink, or 2 heatsink, or sorry, 4 boosters, 1 in 1, or 3 booster, 2 in 1.
And by the way, are you jumping to Super Cruise and then dropping? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, so we're already in an instance.
Gotcha. I'm on my way then.
Yep. Harry's not going to shoot because I know he's got his gimbal boy here.
I see those. I packed double chaff for this. No, back on the chaff thing. The moment you don't take chaff is the moment that you run into someone like Yamato running a full gimbal multi-cannon build.
Yep.
Yeah, you get shit on. But I mean, there's going to be a lot of metagaming, and so the builds at the beginning of the league are going to look very different than the builds at the end of the league, I think. So it's just, they're going to be. It'll be really fun to see.
Yeah.
It'll be really fun to see.
Yeah.
So if you want to drop wing,
I'm going to, and give me just a second. I'm jumping into VR.
Okay.
I'm not going to do. I'm going to try to just do this for this. I'll jump back out of VR. We'll talk a little bit and then do the wing fight. I know for the guys on stream, I know it's shaky cam. I'll try to be a little less animated with my talking than I normally am, and try to keep my head kind of as still as I can. I just honestly. I suck in combat, not in VR, so I am going to do this. So forgive me, everybody. Please stay in. For the chat guys, there are guys in Discord that are kind of watching chat if there's questions. As we get started here, I'm going to kick a question I just saw from Dunkel again on shields, and wanted to kind of kick the conversation as we're flying and we have time to talk about it, about the differences in standards, bi-weaves, and prismatics. The quick question was, what do you recommend on Chieftain? Absolutely a bi-weave, no question. It's going to be, most of these ships are going to be bi-weave hull tank builds. You've got to have a mix of both, and you want that fast regen of a bi-weave. With that, I'm going to kick that question to you guys as I jump into VR and stuff. Would you agree? Any disagreement? What would you guys say with shields?
For the Chieftain?
That, and just in general as to what you're going to see on most of the builds in these kind of fights.
Bi-weaves are going to be popular. Bi-weaves work on almost every ship except for the big ships at this point. But there will be a lot of prismatic FDLs. They've kind of had a resurgence recently.
Okay. Cellbank prismatics?
Yeah, Cellbank prismatics with a 4A prismatic and then a 5A, 4A.
I was just
bank.
about to ask that. Yeah, and for those that don't get that, you might think, well, I want the bigger generator, right? And then the smaller banks. Well, the issue is a bank has more overall shield energy in it than a generator does, right? The only real negative, right, is that if you run that way and you're more reliant on your banks, you're then obviously more susceptible to cascade rails. For those that don't know cascade rails, each hit during the dump of energy, which if I'm right on a standard bank is 6 seconds, on an engineered one it's like 3.5, Correct me if I'm wrong. 4 seconds.
I think it's in the mid threes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it varies.
If you get hit during that time, each rail that hits you dissipates 30% of that bank. So if I had 3 cascade rails and I hit you at the right time, I just dissipated 90% of that bank, right? So that can be really dangerous.
As long as it's a medium rail. Smalls do less.
Oh, interesting. Oh, you know what? That makes sense, actually. What do you know the difference on a small?
It's equivalent to the damage. So like the damage on the stock one.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
I think it's what 60% of the damage.
Okay, yeah, 60% of this. Yeah, right. And just quickly, that's another reason, for the most part, you want to run gimbal or fix. I say this all the time: turrets are never the answer, other than highly specific engineering for special effects, or like I talked about earlier, Heelys for Feelies. Because generally, turrets are 30% the DPS of a fixed, of a gimbal, and gimbal is generally 30% the DPS of a fixed. Right. So that massive cut you're taking in damage is in no way worth it unless it's a very, very specific build, right?
Yeah.
So okay, so in the shooting, it's Ryan, Ent, and Mage, just not Potter, right?
Space Mage. Yeah, Harry's not going to shoot because he's got gimbals. You would not have fun trying to evade his auto-aimed weapons.
Yeah, perfect. And would you recommend generally for something like this for me to focus a single person? Yes.
So because we're shooting at you, you're going to want to switch between us.
Okay, gotcha.
And joust a different person each time. I would say try and joust the person that's doing the most damage to you, that you're noticing. Like if one person keeps hitting you with PAs, whatever you're doing, change it.
Gotcha.
Right. So if you're jousting me and I keep nailing you with PAs, don't joust me anymore. Joust somebody else. Or you're going to want to time your boosts differently. Don't just instantly boost the second that you're able to, because they can be predicted. Right?
Yeah,
You'll fall into a pattern. So try and be unpredictable. Use your lateral and vertical thrusters, and to try and move the reticle for people as well.
Is there a rule in terms of, I just realized the 2 PAs that I've got, one is target lock break and one's dispersal. Is that
Doesn't matter.
Okay. I didn't know if we wanted to use one versus the other, if it really mattered. I don't even know. Tell me which one is that, Ryan? Is that the dispersal or the target lock?
That's dispersal.
Okay, I'm gonna switch to the other one then. Okay.
Yeah, use your TLB one.
Yeah.
How much shields you got on that thing?
Pretty decent actually. It's 482.
Okay, so
with
what we'll do is
resistance.
we'll take you to 50% hull.
Okay.
Instead of shield drop, because your shields will come down pretty quick on that.
Sure. And I've got 4,200 hull.
Yeah, so that's fine.
Yeah.
You'll get your shields back before we kill.
Yeah, sure.
That'll take a
Because
little
we're only
bit.
shooting you with 1 PA.
Sure. Right.
All right. So
Okay, let's go.
let us know when you're ready, and we'll start shooting at
I'm
you.
ready. Let's go.
All right.
And is it a pass and go for the tournaments, or is it just go?
For tournaments, you start 5 clicks away, and once we say go, you go.
Gotcha.
So we'll go ahead and we'll go now.
Okay.
There we go.
Bye, man.
See you, bud.
I feel like I don't fly the chief enough to give advice on this.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck to fly this thing.
Well, I mean, again, I think it's more like, for me, I'm probably not gonna, because I don't do this kind of evasive training much, or if ever, right? I've certainly never done an exercise like this before, right? So just the fact of what we're doing in general is good for me.
Yeah. See, on that last one, you stalled, so you were just drifting backwards for a little bit.
Yep. Okay.
It's super easy to line PA shots up when that happens.
And is it basically I want to make sure I'm just moving in some direction at any point?
Yeah. So what you're going to want to do is generally don't try as hard as you can to never fly in a straight line. So if you're going to fly, like alternate which lateral thrust you're using, alternate which vertical thrust you're using, and that'll move the reticle for us.
Okay.
So space and stop shooting real quick.
Okay.
Joust me, and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Okay, let me watch.
So
Okay, I see it. Yep, I'm watching it.
No. So you're gonna joust.
Oh,
me.
gotcha.
So you see how?
Yep.
So look, you see you see how I'm moving the reticle? So we'll do it again.
Yep.
And so try and line up a shot on me, and I'll try and line up a shot on you.
Okay. Yep.
So you see how that reticle's moving all over the
I
place?
do. Yep.
I'm alternating my thrust so that it's a little harder for you to line that shot up.
Gotcha.
So the rule is if you have a shot lined up on me, I also have one on you. So you want to line yours up, fire your shot, and then get out of the way so that I can't shoot you.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
All right, so space and we can start shooting again.
Yeah, that's where the boost timing comes into it. So you can boost right as you're getting out of the way to get that extra
I'm just shooting a
extra maneuverability to thrust and some lateral thruster and really get your ship the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Like there, you were just a second too late on my PA shot, and you would have evaded it.
Another useful thing, if you're trying to be evasive, is just randomly toggle FA on. It'll jerk you back out of the...
okay. Interesting.
Another one, especially like if you're in the position that we are, where we're shooting at you, if you think you're going to overshoot somebody after you've boosted, you just deploy your landing gear real quick, and it'll limit your boost.
Oh my!
Oh, seriously?
Yep, you got me right in the face on that last pass space. But hold on just a second.
Shit.
Let me just turn on my
90%.
my mouse reticle so I can. So we don't have to stop, right? I mean, I'm obviously not going to hit you, but that's not really the point anyway. So no sweat. I've only got a D class life support, but we got 7 minutes, so it's no hurry.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So,
I've done
just
this
let us
before
know
with a
when you want
friend.
to stop.
This used to be a friend I would do it with a lot in his fast. Occasionally, I would get him on the first pass.
yes,
just
it drives
nail
me
his cockpit.
great. I mean, dude, I'm at 92% hull. Right?
Yeah,
It's like
I
I love the man. I love the the aesthetics of it, but I just really wish they had a better system where you could I don't know, something deploys down in front of you.
I completely agree, right?
Yeah.
Something that kind of keeps your targeting going, right?
It'd be cool if you if a metal panel dropped up and then it was just reticles in front of you instead of the actual ships,
And
projected hologram.
one question I've got in terms of my pips is I'm pretty much running 402, 420 and just bouncing between the two. Yes, you would agree with that for the most part, even in a hull tank build like this?
So, I mean, the Chief is a hybrid, so you definitely want to make sure you're keeping pips in systems. If you're taking fire, generally you're going to want at least 2 pips in systems. When you're in the recharge, you're going to want maybe 3 or 4 pips in systems. But you move them around. So, right now, you're not taking fire. So right then is where, at the back of the joust, you're not going to be taking a lot of shots. So that's where you want to put 4 for a couple of seconds, and then you switch them back out as you need them. Right? So active pip management is one of the biggest things that people mess up. They either keep perma pips or they go, I'm taking fire, I'm going to move into this configuration, right? Rather than move them when you have a chance.
Sure.
If your weapons are full, you don't need pips there anymore, right? There's no benefit to having pips when it's full. So you just got to be strategic about it.
And am I right that, for example, right now, since my shields are down and they haven't started recharging yet, here's where I go to 042 or 024 because there's no reason to have any pips in systems right now because I can't use them anyway, right? And then as soon as my shields start regenning, that's when I go back to back and 4 back into systems. Agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Before shield recharge kicks in, it's always best to make sure your system cap's charged.
Yeah.
Say that again.
So when your shields go down and your shields aren't recharging, normally your system might be empty because you're a hybrid. That's the point where you want to put 4 pips into systems, get it charged, then move them.
Oh, you mean get your systems back? Okay, wait. Let me make sure I can say that back right. So once they start charging, right? Once my system capacitor goes to full, then I can go back somewhere else. Is that what I'm hearing?
So your shields are about to drop right now, so they're not charging right this second. So you want to make sure your system capacitor right now is charging to full. Once it's full, then you move your pips. If you have, say, half or a quarter of your system capacitor left,
Top it off.
Yeah, and then your shields start recharging, you're going to be drained before you get even 50% of your shield back.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, and I just remembered, there is one slightly cheeky method to get around the canopy breaking that you can only do if you're in VR. You can, if you like move your chair way over to one side
And look out the side window.
It will.
Yeah.
You'll be able to have your reticles up again.
Yeah. Oh,
and you can get
yeah.
around the
Oh,
canopy.
as I'm looking through the top of my canopy, I can see the reticle, and I try. I mean, obviously, I wasn't going to hit you guys much anyway, but I then try to get that lined up and time where it's going to be. Right. That's actually a good tip for people. If you lose your canopy and you're going to dock somewhere, you can look out your side windows. I'm doing that right now a lot, and you can see where that is to be able to line up for your station.
That was a
or
good
your
hit.
docking.
You got me there.
Right.
You got me on that PA shot, by the way.
That was luck. And that was a little bit of, I did look down, saw that you were over next to me, and thought, all right, let's see if I can land it. Right.
Like, I can get that. I can do that.
And this is where, again, as I said earlier for everybody, I'm getting a big advantage from the focused PAs, right? Because my shot speeds, are so much faster, and I can fire them off so much more rapidly than you guys can, right? But obviously at the cost of I think I've never said it that way, but you're absolutely right, aren't you?
Yeah. The big cost of focus PAs is the damage, in my opinion. It's like an opportunity cost thing.
Yep.
Because efficient, it's not even, it's like total damage and being able to spam them. There's so many things about efficient that are better. There was a brief focus PA meta back when you could, in the old engineering version, where you could roll for low thermal draw on them as well. But that got removed, and now there's only a few legacy PAs like that floating around.
Gotcha.
Yeah, damage buffs on them as well, because I've got 5% on mine.
Yeah, the old secondary system was insane.
So dumb.
But that's gone now.
Yep, it is gone now. So you're getting kind of low in hull. So I don't know if you want to, you want to call it.
Yeah,
and we can
and
start
I've only got a
programming.
minute 45 left in lunch support anyway. So that's probably
Sounds good.
the bigger reason.
Get your shields back before you go and drop. I can imagine someone might try and finish you off.
Oh,
There's a couple griefers out there.
Dirty griefers.
Never be too careful with those griefers.
True.
So let's see, who do we got? Who do we got in here that can fight? We got Harry, we got me, and
and I've still got
Nomads.
one. How have I not burned notoriety? I killed that guy at 7 p.m. 2.5 hours ago, and I still
2
have-
hours.
It's been 2.5
2 hours
hours
per level.
I'm on notoriety 1, and it's been 2.5
sometimes-
hours.
The display sometimes glitches. It might not actually
Okay. Because that doesn't make sense.
It's broken. Sometimes it doesn't tick down right. I've had my shit sit overnight and it doesn't tick down.
Okay. Well, the funny thing is, right when we started pirating, right around 6:45, I even said to the buddy I was with, I was like, well, I don't want to actually kill anybody because I don't have to deal with having notoriety tonight. And then that Corvette was just so juicy, right? I couldn't not kill it, right? I mean, a novice Corvette in a CG system, like, how do you not?
Can't pass that.
That's shooting
You
back.
don't see that
right?
every day.
It's this kind of talk that the forums end up diagnosing you as a psychopath.
Just flew past it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, right. Well, because come on, piracy is clearly just an excuse to grief, right? I mean, I've gotten. I remember once some guy, you guys know, at least know of Commander 3 of 9, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. I remember once he sent me a thread of somebody that was just, oh my God, just unbelievable assault, right? And he was like, oh, and there we go, I'm dead. And he was like, what did he say? He was like, I promise that I'm more fun than an NPC, right? And the guy was like, oh, just fuck you, blah, blah. What killed me? It didn't even say who killed me. I just died as I dropped out of Super
Did you
Cruise.
run out of air?
Oh, you know what? I probably wasn't paying attention. You're probably right. I absolutely did. I was like, what the hell? I was just yakking along, forgetting.
Oh, fuck.
I've got
Who
you.
cares? Who cares?
I was tabbed out checking your stream to see how you died.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is, right?
I'm being griefed by them.
Well,
by
obviously,
my own commander
the
mistake.
good thing is, obviously, I don't have notoriety because it still shows that I do, but obviously I don't.
Well, no, this is an anarchy system. So
Yeah, but still, wouldn't I, if I
wouldn't
died with
be-
notoriety, shouldn't I spawn in detention regardless?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Only if
fair
they
enough.
claim your bounty.
Ah, okay, fair enough. See, if I was a griefer, I would know that. But I was like, when this guy's going off on 3 of 9, I'm like, dude, do you not realize you're going off on like the nicest pirate in the fucking game?
Yeah, I've talked to
Right.
3 and 9 before. I think he's too nice for his own good.
I kind of think so. Every now and then he won't go for the kill with somebody who's just blasting at him, and he gets his few tons. He's like, okay, see ya. And I'm like, dude, the guy's still shooting at you. Teach him a lesson, right? I just
Yeah.
can't help it, right? So
I like 3 and 9.
oh yeah, he's a really
He's a
good
good
guy.
dude.
I've wanted to have him on, but I don't think he's a native English speaker, and I think he wasn't sure about that. And I can't remember. I know he's in Europe, but I can't remember his exact time zone. So who do we want to do? What do we want to do for teams? Who
So
wants to
let's
get
figure out
who wants to
who's
get the
coming.
the nerf and take me?
So let me see. We're gonna start. We're gonna do the fight in normal space. Let's see who we got. We got
I
TMB,
sound like the villain
Chocobo.
on the Cartoon Network Incredibles. That's what I just looked. What's that guy? I've heard a lot of people tell me I either look or sound. I think
Jason
sound
Lee.
like Jason Lee. You're right. I think I've had people tell me they think I sound like T.J. Miller, right? The
Fuck,
guy.
man, you sound like both of them together.
Right.
Holy shit!
You look
Hey, I
like an
think he's
avocado.
Figure out
You-
wings.
I need to have something for Deadpool. You look like an avocado who had sex with a nastier, older avocado, and it was not good. It was. I can't remember the quote.
Was the
I wish I had T.J. Miller's, money. That'd be fine.
For a second there, I thought I was listening to Deadpool.
no. Now, T.J. Miller had the only good character in Ready Player One, in my opinion.
Oh, you know what? I actually I enjoyed Ready Player One just from the
Yeah.
nerd fest that it was. But
Yep.
you're right. I love the end when he's like, "Hey, I've got like 10 years of shit in me. That's a
Yeah.
that's a camper move, dude." Right?
He was the only relatable character in that
Totally.
movie. I felt
he,
like
he totally
it
was.
was funny.
Right. How strong is it? Well, I think it'll last for like 10 million years. So yeah, I think we're okay.
Typical Wildfire, that's what he was.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
the villain guy that was what's his name, Hux from isn't that the same guy that was Hux in Star Wars?
Oh yeah, he not Huck. He plays
General.
Oh god, I can't remember.
Doesn't he?
I thought he was the guy from Rogue One.
Oh no, you're right. He is the guy from Rogue
Dom
One.
Hawkins.
Yes, you're right. You're totally right. He was
Krennic.
just
Krennic.
He was
Oh,
just
Ben
such
Mendelsohn.
he was just
Yeah, that's
such a vanilla, just bad guy, right? Like
Yeah.
just especially the scene to me that was so cringeworthy when he's like talking to Parzival and he's like, "Oh, I unwind with a tab and play some whatever he's Robotron and watch whatever it was, right?" Like it was just so
Yeah.
it's like, no, you don't. Like nobody believes that, right? Of course, Parzival did call him on it pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, they were good about that at least.
Of course, you saw it coming, and if you haven't seen Ready Player One by now, sorry, spoiler alert, but you should have seen it by now. When H is telling him, "Oh, you don't know, he could be a dude. He could be a dude named Ted or whatever his name was." Like, okay, so H is clearly a chick, right? It's like, okay,
Everyone on the internet is an overweight guy in their late 30s.
exactly, right?
That's how it works.
Remember your safety, guys. Girl means guy in real life.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so I've got a list of people I think that are going to participate in the wing fight, and it looks like we have 12.
Okay,
So
Okay.
It's you,
Yeah.
me, Ant, Space Mage,
Okay.
Lego, Maztec, Kagarin, CFMB, Squatch, Harry, and Jackal.
okay.
Is that right?
Anybody else?
What's
we're
up,
missing?
boys?
Yeah, there's everybody.
Is Les Tagarin still in this call?
He
Oh, there
just,
is.
I see him just joining right now.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And
We
Hello,
can do
Commanders.
6v6.
I heard my name.
yeah, do we
Lego,
all want to
you're-
just stay in the same room for fun, or do we want to break into wings? You guys, what do you guys say?
Yeah, we'll switch into wings.
Okay, okay.
So, let me see.
There's wing 1 and wing 2 up above. I would say that my wing would stay in here, just since we're chatting with others potentially, and then the other wings can go up into the channels if you want to stay in this Discord. Into the channels up above us, and there's a wing 1 and wing 2 channel.
Looks like there's only 4 spots.
Oh, I
I can't wait to get out of this laggy instance.
Hold on, I can change that really quickly.
I can go make an instance. What rings do you want to use?
Are we doing rings?
Oh no, we'll do open space.
Oh.
I'm dropping.
So actually, we've got 11 people, so we need one more.
Okay.
Someone wants to send me a wing invite. I've gone instant.
I want to grab it.
Lego, where'd Pelly go? Is he around?
Oh, he had to go to bed. It's super late for him.
Oh, that's right. It is. It is super late for him. Who else don't we have? Jason, or did you jump in?
Is it past 6:30?
So-
I'm down to fight.
Okay, Jazz, I'll put you in.
Are you using the bot?
Trying to look through chat and see if I. Yeah, and somebody asked if I'd done voice acting. No, I've never done voice acting, and yes, just like everybody, I hate my voice, right? Like I go like
right.
I'm super cool. Well, I'm happy to talk a lot, obviously, right? But I'm not. I can't hear my voice, right? I can't hear what you guys hear, right? Every time I work through video, I'm always like, this is super cringy. I can't stand it. It was fun doing this the inner world voice that I did on the Twitch video. Right?
I recall a specific conversation you had with somebody about disliking your own voice, but Obsidian Ants being velvety smooth.
Oh God,
That's
right?
what you said.
Yes, he's got the voice of gold. Right, I was chatting with him. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good. So I put everyone's names down. I put what I think would be roughly equal teams.
Okay.
I made sure that Maztec and I are on different sides because we're both flying vultures.
Okay.
So one team's not kind of gimped by that. So when I call your name, you'll be wing 1. And that the first set's going to be wing 1. So Ent, Space Mage, Maztec, Harry, Jazad, and Exy.
Okay.
Wing 2 is Ryan, Lego, Higarin, CFMB, Squatch, and Jackal.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
That works for me.
Have to be on the same.
Maz, does that sound fair? He's muted.
It can work, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, this is obviously
I
just
know,
for fun.
because I know you and I are in
Good
smaller
enough.
ships, so it's close enough.
Harry's on the other team, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop my chaff.
No, I got gimbals on this Vulture.
Oh.
Or no, I don't have gimbals. I don't have gimbals.
I was gonna say gimbals on a vulture. I think that's a crime.
I was just going to say that too, actually. And so again, I'd say my wing is going to stay in this channel, and then the other guys can go up into either wing 1 or wing 2. I set it up so that both of them are unrestricted. We got plenty of room. I also should have mentioned this too. If you guys have anything, it's hard for me to watch this too, but I am watching the live stream text channel. If there's any reason to put anything in text, we can use that channel.
Cool. So wing 2, we'll go ahead and we'll move up.
Let's
wing 1,
let's
if you guys want to
first.
drop on Harry. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's
Before we move, let's just instance.
Do we have a list somewhere? 'Cause I forgot who's in my wing.
So
Yeah,
we'll get everyone in, and then I'll read it out again.
Yeah, great. And whoever, I think Ryan, was I in your wing or am I in the other wing?
You're in Harry's wing.
Okay, and so Harry, if
So,
you can send me a wing invite, I see it. Maybe I've got it.
Somebody have an instance?
Yeah, Harry's
Harry
Who
anchoring.
needs an invite?
Here, I can get you an invite.
That's what I'll send you.
I got 3 people in my wing.
Alright,
Lego.
so I'll wait for you need to drop, then I'll drop wing.
Are you in a wing already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lego needs an invite too. Be cool. So that I can
Would it?
Send you on now.
so that I can carry you guys.
I think we got Eggsy, you dropped.
Yep, I'm right here in front of Harry right now.
Okay.
Make
So
sure
here,
beacons
just
are up.
everyone in super with me. Just follow me. I'm just gonna drop on his wake.
Squatch, send me an invite in 30 seconds.
Dropping. Okay.
Oh shit, I left my wing too.
Oh god damn it.
It's okay. We can get everyone in.
It's too bad we can't set up a beacon for everybody.
I know, wouldn't that be nice?
Mm-hmm.
Fun
Like
fact, that
Designo.
was once a planned feature.
Yeah. Okay.
Light the sign, no Harry.
Look at all the FDLs, all the pizza wedges.
Oh, hey, you guys, we ought to make a pizza at some point. We can do that. How many FDLs does it take? Like what, 8?
8.
Yeah, it should take 8.
We
We can make
Looking
a.
at it.
Why are we eating our pizza?
Okay, we gotta make a pizza. I've always wanted to see that ever since I got
I'm
an
gonna say I'll
FDL.
jump in my third-party camera and get a shot. Do we have 8 FDLs?
Immediately.
Hey,
I would be
Maz,
disappointed
You and
if
I'll
we
be the
didn't.
pepperonis on
Ate
it.
some pizza.
Yo, what's up? Alright.
We're gonna be the
Oh.
pepperonis on the pizza.
I think
Alright,
Maztec is eating a pizza right now.
Zorf is the king
I'm
of
Sounds
busy
like
killing
it
so much red.
Dude, I bought this giant bag of Doritos and I'm killing it right now.
dude sick.
No.
Hey,
Doritos
So
count
fucking
too.
cool.
You know, and
Okay,
just,
who's not in the instance that needs an invite?
I'm dropping.
Okay.
you know, one of the things, and I don't think we really have the time too much to get in this tonight at all, is kind of then strategy for wing fight, right? And so to that end, what we'll do is, correct me if somebody else wants to do this, but I'm going to basically nominate Harry for our wing to kind of lead the wing. And is that generally how you guys would do a fight like this? There's kind of somebody who's calling targets, or is it just a big everybody's shooting at everybody?
It's like kind of based on the skill level of the wing.
Okay,
Like if you're like all like good and you're all like used to each other, everyone just kind of calls stuff out and it just kind of flows. But that's not always the case with every wing though.
Okay.
Yeah, so like an example, like if you listen to like a Nomads wing fight or an SDC wing fight, most of the time we're just kind of like joking around and talking shit while we're fighting.
Sure.
Because we all kind of know the process of the wing fight. We know who to focus. We know how to peel, and there doesn't need to be clear comms because everyone knows what's supposed to happen. But like other less experienced wings, they need shot callers.
Sure.
Because it's easy to kind of get flustered and say, who do I need to shoot? There's 15 fucking people shooting at me.
Yep.
You know, to call a target and say, okay, we're going to kill this guy first. And to know that that's actually the guy that you need to kill first.
Sure. And I'm guessing for the purposes of this, you know, since we're kind of gearing it, or at least I'm trying to, for folks that would be new to this and want to get into this, like I think for my wing anyway, if it's Harry, if it's whomever else is calling those targets, that probably, it's certainly, I mean, I'll admit, it definitely was helpful for me anyway, and I think that that's probably how most new wings are going to fight, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely get used to, so what I would say is don't have just one shot caller.
Okay,
right.
Fair enough.
So the reason for that is if that person gets killed at the beginning, what are you going to do?
Yep.
That's the Eve problem right there, the headshot.
Yeah.
Sure.
So like, who's cheating? So like,
You're in a hit scan vulture? What?
Yeah, dude.
Wait, what?
So there are specific groups that prefer that, where they have one person that's calling targets.
Okay.
And if I know who that is, we're just going to shoot that person
of course.
first and force them out.
Hey,
Of
wait,
course,
you
right.
guys.
Then the wing is
hold up.
lost after that.
Is Maz in here?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have Maz.
So
Yeah,
PM.
Maz is
Figure that
right.
out.
Okay, hold
I
on.
tried PMing you earlier and it didn't work.
Yeah, Maz
Yeah, let's
is
build the
right.
wings and then let's
Yeah.
build the wings and then we'll figure out who you can't see.
I got
All right,
no.
so let me go through
Well, I
the
can't-
let me go
I
through the
can't
list again.
PM.
Let me go through the list again. So, Eggsy, Ent, Space, Maztec, Harry, and Jazz, you're wing one. So make sure if you're in a wing, that you're in a wing with them. Everyone else, you're wing two.
And Exegesis.
Yep.
Ryan, are you in the wing already?
I am. I can send you an invite.
All right.
Nice,
And-
got your wing.
For a 6-6, do you generally do 2 wings of 3? Is it just kind of the preference of the team?
It doesn't really matter. Sometimes wing of 4, wing of
Okay.
2. Sometimes wing of 3, wing of 3.
Okay.
Depends on the ship you're flying. Like if I was flying like a hull tank, like let's say I was in a shieldless FAS.
Yep.
I would not want to be in a wing. I would want to be by myself.
Yeah, okay,
Because of
okay.
wing hostility. Like if I went silent,
Sure.
if any of my wingmates shoot at you, you can see me too.
Sure. Gotcha. And one of the things I'd say quick, and I clearly don't care, but for the purposes, for me, what I'm thinking is once I get to, I mean, if I die, no sweat, but if I get to like 20-25% hull, I'll stow my weapons. If you guys see that I've stowed, I don't know if you guys are going to go to the death or whatever, but if you are, I'll just stow at that point just so I can kind of keep the stream going and have everybody be able to see the fight at that point. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that's fine. I would say we're just not gonna. We'll kill you last.
Okay, all right, that's totally
X
fine.
just doesn't want to eat the revive.
Well, no, yeah, right.
He just doesn't
You
want
know
to
me
die
so
on
well.
stream.
You know me so well because that's never happened before, right?
Nomads.
Okay, I
We've
still
all
don't
died
have
so
the
many
full
times.
instance.
Okay, who are you missing, Lego?
I'm missing Maztec at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think I've got all 12.
Yeah,
I'm
Matt
missing-
and Lego. If you two get in a wing, then that'll be everything settled. I think actually.
So who's the 2 not in wing that's on my team? I don't even remember.
So it would be.
If we want, by the way, we could type this
Yes, I mean-
into. Does somebody want to type this into the live stream text channel if that's easier?
Maz,
The
one of
local
us
chat as well.
might need to
That'll work too.
relog because this is super broken. I'm gonna relog.
Alright, go for it.
I'm seeing everybody. I'm seeing 11 plus me.
Don't start without me.
Ryan, what was Team 1 again? Harry and
Dude, hold on, I'm going to type this into local chat. So team 1.
Okay. Oh, that's what I was doing.
Okay, you know what? Then you do it since I'm in VR. It's hard as fuck for me to do that.
So, Exegius, Ent, Space Mage, Maztec, Harry, Jazz.
Okay, there's Team 1.
Perfect.
Ryan, Lego, Higarin, CFMB, Squatch, Jackal.
There you go, Team 2.
Excellent. And I think I see Jzod maybe typing that into Discord chat as well. Excellent. Thank you, Jzod. Great.
That wasn't me.
No, oh, so Star Squat's doing it. Thank you, Star.
Nope.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Second time, maybe third time?
Oh, I thought it was Squatch that did it, right?
Screenshotted it.
Oh, did I say something wrong? Am I pronouncing it wrong?
No, you're good. You're
Okay,
good.
okay. Is it Squatch or Squatch? Am I saying it wrong?
It's
Squatch.
Sam Squanch.
It's
Corn dog.
Squatch.
It's Corn Dog Lord.
I mean, I think I got everybody. If somebody wants to throw me an invite,
Cool.
Ryan, you want to get me back in the wing?
Can I get a group invite, Harry?
Messick, you just need to invite Jazod, and then you'll be good.
Alright, so
All right,
It's a hard
so
topic, Maynard.
my wing just kind of congregate around me. We'll get out to 5 clicks.
Waypoint is actual.
And let's have Team 1 just congregate around Exegius, and then we'll be good.
Roger that.
Here, get your
Okay, I
good ball
can see
bass
the
over
enemy
here.
team.
Are those pulse lasers on a vulture?
It's called experimental. All right.
You need to explain yourself, Commander.
I had them
What's
stored.
CFMB
Is,
doing?
I had them
just sitting
stored.
there.
I was like, hey, why not? Yeah.
Is one of
There it
those
is.
coordinate and the other one scramble?
No,
I actually have no idea
One of
what,
them's thermal shock, I think.
Yeah, one's thermal.
One's
Yeah.
emissive.
And
One
one's
is
thermal.
scramble.
Oh, really? I was getting
no.
thermal.
Yeah, you can tell one of them is scramble.
That's emissive.
Yeah, it's
You can tell because of the way it is.
Oh, okay. I thought somebody hit me with a thermal. I
really
thought.
be like that sometimes.
Such a dick.
So now we got Harry's, his gimbals, and then we got hit scan.
Alright, we
Ooh,
should probably
easy.
split comms. soon.
Yep. So
Yeah.
we'll so wing 2 will move up a channel.
Team 2, fuck off.
And by the way,
we'll talk in local. We'll organize in local.
perfect.
Alright, once all of them leave.
Sure. And then for my wing,
get down to
obviously,
the dirty details.
yeah, it's somebody other than me is going to call.
Let's
the
get down
shot,
and
right?
dirty, boys.
Oh,
Oh my
nice,
god,
Darius.
I have
Okay.
a feeling.
Okay, this is going to be super simple.
Just happened to see that, Darius.
So
Alright,
I'm
CFMB,
thinking
get up here,
Ryder-
boy.
Squatch, fuck off.
Dude, CFMB needs to get in their
Oh my.
channel.
Okay, have they moved?
Alright, so I think.
Alright, Harry, what's the plan?
Okay,
So
I'll
we
pull
get-
targets. If I die, then it's Maztec.
Okay.
Maztec dies, then it's Space Mage. The target order is going to be Squatch is primary, Hagara is secondary, Jackal's third, then Ryan if you can. I'm probably going to be first focus.
So we've got. Say that one
I'm
more
a split
time.
on 2, Hooker.
Say that one
I
more
put
time.
it in wing chat.
Okay, thank you.
Harry, I'm gonna split on.
Okay,
to,
great. Thank you.
To our boy Hooker.
Yeah, once Squatch is dead, then wing 1 will go to Jackal. You can split to Hagara.
Do you guys use wingman targeting features, the hotkeys for this?
Sometimes.
I don't.
Okay.
They're probably listening to the stream.
I
Probably.
actually had no
yeah,
idea that those
it's-
were like.
sure.
I didn't know you could bind those.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, just quickly on stream, the stock is 7, 8, and 9 would be select wingman 1, 2, and 3. For me right now, that'd be Potter, Ent, and then Space Mage. And then I'm pretty sure it's 0 is select that target. I don't have those bound right now, right? So okay, so
20
yeah, we're going to
seconds.
20 seconds. Okay, great.
Here we go. I'm expecting first focus. I'll give you as much time as I can.
It might be me. I'm in 2 boosters, so.
Well, let's all be honest. It would be me if we weren't being nice.
Nah.
No.
Nah, never.
Of course not.
5 seconds.
Can't bully this
Here we
show.
go.
Come on.